Lindsey Charles, and this is Dagger Cast, a podcast where we talk about, I don't know, horror, what it does in our lives, how we feel about it, what we're affected by, how it represents us, how it makes us feel, how I don't know, how horror is just the I don't know, it reflects the human condition, racially, culturally, all that good stuff. I really just sounded like I went off and did some gobbledygook. I just worked out, but you know what? The ADHD brain told me that I should record this intro right after a workout. So here I am doing exactly that. I'm very excited about our interview this time around. I interviewed 2 of the 5 Arias brothers from the wonderful band Avantist. They are a Chicago band that we have played with. My band, the Cell Phones, have played with many, many times. I feel like we've been playing shows with each other for almost a decade now. They are wonderful, wonderful guys. The tightest group of brothers you've ever seen in your life. I'm always fully fascinated by them. But we interviewed both David and Fernando. I don't call him that, so that really just sounded weird. Fern, that's what I call him. But anyway, they are both wonderful. David also has a solo project called Troigo that is also very wonderful. He is a great guitar player, whatever that was. And Fern is a wonderful vocalist, one of my favorites. So if you ever get a chance to see them, please do. We just recently played a fest called the PRF Barbecue that we love very much. I helped curate it this year. It was a lot of fun. But of course I had to have my guys there and they killed it. They also asked me to they were like, oh, could you do the IAS Date with the Night with us? Like, you know, 10 minutes before their set, they asked me this question and I was like, because like, I know every song from Fever to Tell, and honestly, like, you couldn't have picked a better song to spring on me literally 10 minutes before a show. So wonderful. It was a great time. We had a really good time. So yeah, we talked quite a bit about lots of stuff. You will be listening to it. But the one thing I really just want to take away and just kind of hone in on just for a little bit is the Grimace Shake phenomenon. This has been a boon, a joy, a gift from everyone in the world. It's been such a wonderful zeitgeist to have people making their own horror movies, literally just warping something so simple as just getting a shake to something so heinous and evil. It's really funny though, towards the end of this crazy meme that has been going around, everybody's been saying like, oh, it's kind of sad because I feel like if Grimace knew that the shake was killing everyone, he would be very sad. And of course he would. He just wanted to share his birthday with us. But honestly, like, what a great representation of horror being for the people. Like, we had people who have never made a single like narrative film before making these wonderful just little TikTok videos that really at some points were very scary. So people were able to really freak me out. And I'm not really like a TikTok person, but this is the kind of TikTok shit I can get behind. So I'm very I don't know. Good job Zeitgeist. Good job us we are in the darkest timeline, so it's just really nice when we can all like get in on something that is wonderful and a sign of the times and just like gets all of our creative juices flowing. I had friends that just sent me their own Grimace Shake things, which really just gave me so much joy. So thank you for that, the universe. Somebody, I just saw a video of somebody doing an Oppenheimer Frosty. So let's keep going. Let's just never stop. I just never want it to end. Anyway, without further ado, here's my interview with Fern and David Arias from Avantist. Enjoy. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be with you guys. I mean, seeing you in person a month ago or so was nice. this is kind of, I'm just taking it. I get 2 out of 4 Avantist. I'm happy with that. So you two this is the first time I've ever like interviewed brothers on the show at the same time. So I have kind of to start, I would like to know kind of where horror started for you and how young, and was it together? Was it, or did you find your own ways to horror?
Well, for me, I would say like, growing up, like my brothers would watch that, and like, I guess our dad would too, right? Like, not so much, but
Okay,
like still.
I'm fascinated because I've seen your father a number of times. Most of the time he has not spoken.
He just has a really intense frown. Yeah.
Yes, very intense
Most of the time he stands stoically.
Very stoically in the back. Yeah, exactly that stance. Just very like,
Yeah.
And I'm
if you
always
want a preview of what I'm going to be as an old man, there it is right there. It's just going to be exactly like that. I'm going to be a clown everywhere else, and in public, I'm just going to be like
amazing. I like, so did he was he into horror then?
Okay, hold on. So then I have to start it then. So if so what happened was his first horror movie ever was The Exorcist. And so he always told us this story about how in Mexico, well, first of all, it was like half a story about how sick movie theaters were in Mexico, about like, oh, when you show up there, te van a dar las tortas, they give you a torta, they give you a big jamaica, they give you the papitas, palomitas, they give you like, he would literally describe this just insane like movie meal that just was not available in movie theaters at all back in like however old I was when he was telling me this story. We were still going freaking, what was it called? What were the, I don't even remember what the old movie theaters called anymore. But regardless, he was just like, yo, I saw this movie and I just thought, oh no, it wasn't that scary. But then once I saw that girl, I couldn't sleep right for the next
He was 14. He was 14 at the time too.
14. There you go. He was 14. He said I couldn't sleep for the next month. It's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was not even like, let's see horror. But he's like, if you want to see it, maybe you should, And I don't know why my dad insisted on like, if you want to see it, maybe. And I'm like, okay, the Exorcist, let's go. And right then and there, I'm like, oh wow, this is fucked up. Cool. All right, this is great. Like, and I got the same. I'm assuming I got the same kind of like visceral feeling that he did, like because she, it's Linda Blair, right? Like he is iconic. Like it's like one of the most terrifying performances ever. And I think I saw the fucking dope ass extra director one, the one where they added the spider walk.
Yes.
And I was just like, you know what I mean? And my dad got fucking scared. So right there, I was like, oh, okay, that's I guess the door. I was like, oh, like this is a whole ass. This is another vibe. This is another genre to explore.
I gotta be honest, I feel like The Exorcist that's like the equivalent of like throwing you in a deep end pool of being like swim. Like, I feel like that's like if you want to like gently open the door to someone to horror, like you are just kicking them down a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
And that's because my mom, like I remember my mom being like, oh my God, like I saw like a segment of The Exorcist and it like changed, it ruined my whole week. My brother, we went on a trip and my brother was like 5 to 7 years old, and his dumbass like babysitter decided to play The Exorcist just around the house, and my brother literally called us like sobbing, like, can you please take me home? And I remember being like what did she put on? And what he was describing was The Exorcist, and my mom dressed that woman down, like and so, like Keenan's always kind of been scared of stuff like that. Like I remember like Harry Potter 3,
it started from there.
Yeah.
It started from the freaking Exorcist. Like that's
exactly
what it is.
Like he would get nightmares about Dementors, like Harry Potter. I would just be like, dude, like you need to like get over it. But that I give him so much slack because he saw The Exorcist when he was like 5. Like
without his permission.
Yeah. And it's so funny to this day because like when we ask our dad, like he would just say, like we'd be like, oh, you want to watch this horror movie with us or whatever? He's like, not as scary as The Exorcist. Nothing's ever going to be as
literally
scary.
We'll be like, yeah, I'll fucking watch it because nothing's scary as The Exorcist.
And I feel like the reason why it fucked them up so much was because like you know, our grandma like was very like religious, and I feel like it
Catholic
just is
guilt.
that it was that fear of God and the fear of the devil and stuff like that, and like just it was so impressionable at such a young age. I'm kind of glad I didn't have that kind of same experience when I was younger. Honestly, I'm glad I kind of went into it when I was like, you know, a little bit older. Honestly.
I saw The Exorcist when I was 13, and I was holding the hand of a boy that I really liked. And so that
Oh,
movie did literally, it was like watching that movie and all of the expectations that my mom had put on it, like nothing
And that was your first
nothing
time?
worked. Yeah, it was my first time, and like nothing where I was just like I could barely pay attention because I was just like, a dude is holding my hand. I'm so happy. Like
oh.
and so to me, like The
That's
Exorcist
your
is almost,
love blanket of
yeah,
horror.
like to me
You
The
have,
Exorcist,
yeah.
it's like a comfort. It's like a comfort.
Oh
Uh
wow.
yeah.
Wow.
I remember watching it in my college dorm, and my Jewish roommate was like, I don't understand what's going on. Like she was fully like, I
You're like,
don't
the
get,
power of Christ compels you. That's what's going
yeah.
on. The power of Christ.
She's just like, what is this? And I'm like, cool.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
She's
it's
like, this means nothing to me. What the fuck is happening here?
though now watching it as a mother, like it's been interesting to think about all of those, like those scenes where they're like they have her like hooked up to all those machines.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
now I like I can feel it in a whole different way, and it's very like physically upsetting. Like that was also, you know, even though it seems so procedural, like, oh, we just need to find out what's wrong with her, like that too was in itself horror. Like to watch a poor girl who they couldn't you know, science wasn't going to help her
Yeah.
go through
I,
all
I
this like
literally
painful shit.
I literally just read a thing about Guillermo del Toro today. He said that he still he manages to watch 3 movies a day, every day. And he's just like, this movie when I watched when I was 14 means something completely different when you're 60 years old. So it's like, and especially I think parenting, which is the thing that we obviously have in common besides our good old love of music,
Yeah.
is that once you have a child, your brain gets completely rewired in a way that like it actually makes sense now that we're talking about it. It makes sense because it's because of the stupid things that our parents traumatized us with, scared us with, whatever, that all of a sudden once that happens, all the right connections happen, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm watching The Exorcist, like thinking that poor mother, like imagine going through with your child as a kid. You're like, she's saying she's gonna fuck her mom in hell, and oh my god, and that was just like, dude, this is bad. She's gonna need a lot of therapy. Can she get through this? Will insurance cover it? You know what I mean? Like, it's just
Will insurance cover it?
Will insurance cover? Perfect. Exactly. That's the world we live in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely have talked about this before in other like other interviews, that yeah, like as you get older, I feel like the message changes just a bit, or the things that like freaked you out. Like now I kind of want to like in my 20s was when the whole human centipede thing came out. I wonder if that'll change when I'm older. Will it like remind me of colonoscopies? Like
yeah, exactly.
I'll be like,
Exactly. Are
oh,
you a
this
fan?
is
That's so funny. I was gonna bring that shit up because there was one of those questions about like, what's your most like whatever squeamish, and it had to be that fucking movie. The what is it? Is it 2 or 3 with the baby?
2. I had to turn off
2.
2. I could
2.
not.
I got to the end and I was just like, okay, thanks, guy. Thanks. What's
2 was the only. 2 was like one of the only movies where like, I had to like turn it off. Yeah.
Dieter Laser, or who's the guy who directs it?
Dieter.
No, Dieter Laser's the guy. Is
Tom Six.
Tom Six.
6.
Thank you, Tom Six.
Well,
I literally just sat there just like,
do you remember when he was like when Human Centipede 1 came out, and he was like, I've got Human Centipede 2 in the works, and it's gonna make Human Centipede 1 look like Disney.
he did say that, literally said that.
I remember telling myself, like, that's impossible, sir. You can't be, no, that's impossible. And what do you know? That man
One is literally tame compared to the second one. It's just tame. It's almost tame. It's almost like a art house movie, like straight up art house movie compared to that second one. And it's like, okay, but again, as much as it was repulsive and as much as I just like, I even really just quote unquote don't fuck with that movie. After watching a movie like Terrifier 2, and stuff like that, like Grindhouse stuff, like Toxic Avenger, like Trauma stuff, shit like that, like you realize that this is unbridled imagination, and it's like you can do like it's fucked up, but like it's because they're going for it. I'm gonna figure out a way to trick somebody into seeing somebody get their head cut off while they're still moving. Like it,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm going to physically make it by hand. I'm going to make the molds. I'm going to do the squibs, you know, and or even like the digital artists that are like really good at that. Like that's what they do, you know. So exactly, like that's what it's all about. It's literally like just being able to see people go nuts in a medium. So that's why it doesn't matter to me. Like I can still respect that he's like pushing boundaries, you know, like there's something going on there, you know. So yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. But the thing is, it's like that's definitely like the hard, not the hard line that I draw, but like every time I see like an extreme movie like Human Centipede 2, like I yeah, like Fern said, I like you admire what he actually did, but like to me, like it's most enjoyable when it's like when there's like a little bit of humor in it too. You know what I mean? When it's like when it's so ridiculous, when it's so over the top, and they have like these great practical effects that you're just like, that's awesome, like that's great. You know, I love that because it's like, you know, it can never happen to me, I guess.
That was Terrifier. That was Terrifier 2 specifically. 1 was like pretty cool.
I saw some parts of Terrifier 2. I was like, oh no, I can't watch.
You gotta watch the whole vibe. You gotta watch the whole vibe. And I thought it was like fucking. It's funny. Like they literally like draw like they did the perfect like, oh, look at this crazy ass character we have. He's literally a clown. We might as well play into that. And it's just like they literally do that in the kills that he does. It's very Looney Tunes in a way. Like obviously it's really fucked up, like really, really, really fucked up. But again, it's like to me, that's what you're talking about, the humor. I think that's, if you gave it another chance, you'd probably see the humor.
I agree. It really reminded me, it's so weirdly, of The Mask, just
The
like
Mask.
without Jim Carrey like talking.
Yeah,
like, it was just a person doing it silently, and I thought his jokes were hilarious. I honestly think it's the best depiction of a clown, like
killer.
Yeah, like of a killer clown that wasn't like
better than Joker.
Space for a while, but this is just so much more like upsetting. The kid, the child, the girl. I said Terrifier 3 should just be the girl.
That'd be cool.
Just have the girl, because she was terrifying. She was like the part that, because it was like, oh, I understand this clown, but then the kid would come and her eyes would start glowing, and you're just like, I don't.
Her introduction is shitting herself.
Dude,
like cool, like liquid diarrhea. It's like,
wait, right. Where's this streaming? Where's this movie streaming?
It's in a lot of places now. It's on Prime, and it's on
I think it's
Hulu or Prime or.
I'm gonna watch it on an empty stomach. Yeah,
please, yes. And it is also like carve out 3 hours of your day.
Yeah, 3 hours, like 3 hours.
Pretty, it's long, but it's good. It's good, dude. I'm telling you, it's good.
I
was very surprised. It's a sick ass movie. It's sick, and part of me feels bad about enjoying it, but the other part I was like, I know what you're doing.
What I saw recently was have y'all heard of Psycho Gorman before?
Yes.
I saw that, and like I wasn't expecting much, just because like it looks like a B movie or whatever, but it was so fucking funny. Like I thought it was really funny and really goofy, but like also really brutal at the same time. I highly suggest it, because like it definitely like there's a lot of love in it. You know, you could see like it looks like kind of like cheap or whatever, but like there's a lot of love in it, and I like that kind of like.
I saw the trailer for that, and I was very like, is this gonna be? It looked like the jokes in it were like legit, and actually like the writing was good, but I was also like really scared that it wasn't. And I think Ryan was the one to be like, we're not watching this. And sometimes if he like dismisses a movie, I think, okay, he has a reason, but then I'm also like, are you just being an ass? I don't know.
Definitely give it a chance.
I feel that all the time.
It surprised me.
Me versus my brothers all the time. They think I like, I mean, I do, granted.
Well, he gives us a lot of suggestions.
I like a lot of things. I give a lot of things a benefit of the doubt. One time I was on shrooms with my friend Colin. We were watching the shitty ass PlayStation show Powers, the adaptation of the comics, and because I was on those shrooms, I didn't watch the show. I could literally see actors showing up to work trying to make a low budgeted thing work, and they were just giving it their all with this horrible script, and catering sucked that day, and Mickey Rourke is bloated, and Charlito Copley is like, what the fuck am I doing here? I was watching that, and I was crying tears, laughing, and I was telling Colin, I was like, they're trying so hard to do this job, and that's why, like, it's for the love of the game, dude. Like, I like a lot of things. I get it, like, it's a lot, but
Fern, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you the eldest?
I'm the first guy. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm an old guy.
Does this mean you do a lot of like recommending and like,
Yeah,
like
to deaf ears.
in the sense that where it's like, hey, you guys need to straighten up, watch this shit.
Oh, that we've fought way too many times to do that. We do it in a very sensitive way, a very toes in the water way. Recommendations of like stuff, yeah, that's like we're always shooting stuff at each other. Yeah.
I'm also the eldest, and all of my brothers are like 11 or more years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
So I almost took on like when they were old enough to care about my opinion, I was a full adult. So they really like thought of me as like a person who knew her shit, even though like I didn't. And but like
they respected you as an elder. That's good.
Like my brother still like my brother Keenan still like values my opinion about stuff. And like to me, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's freaking cool. But sometimes I wonder, like, did I put him on the right path? Did I like granted he's like a multi-instrumentalist and is a genius, and I want him to just play more music forever, but like I feel like I don't know, it's very interesting being the eldest because you have to kind of, you know, you just want your younger bros to be like cool, and
you want to. I mean, from somebody on the outside of that, like we do value your opinion, but like Fern's always throwing like TV shows and movies at us like at a rapid pace where I'm like, I can't watch all these at once. Or, like, I only have a certain amount of hours during the day. You know, and like the thing is, it's like when you recommend something where I'm like, oh, I've heard of that, like I'm definitely gonna watch that, but give me like a month, and I'll get back to you on that for that one.
Oh, because is Fern like the one who's like, hey, did you watch that show?
Like, oh, you gotta watch that. Oh, you gotta watch that. And it's like a couple days like in between. Like I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not caught up.
Much TV. It's true. I watch. I get it.
That's what it is. It's hard. It's hard to keep up. But it's not like I don't.
You know what I blame? I blame the pandemic. Okay, the pandemic started me on this fucking shit. And now I'm on a path to eternal damnation.
Ditto. I mean, I feel like Ryan watches way more like horror than me, which is kind of funny. But I'm like, you can't host my show, so tell me what I should watch, bitch. Like,
you're not allowed.
Amazing. I had a so now that the Arias brothers, one of you has children now, and so then they have like uncles. What are y'all recommending to them now? Are you trying to get like when do we expose them to the Exorcist?
Krampus. They love Krampus, right?
Mia is already the oldest one, the sophomore in high school.
I can't believe that.
A fucking
Wait, she's a sophomore?
Like she quietly became, she's a sophomore. She quietly became I saw that. Like, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, I saw it. You know, like just she quietly did it on her own time. And so she's seen probably a lot. And again,
she loves horror. She does love horror, right?
Like she loves it. Like she watches it and she's just like, I'm like, why do you watch it? You know, she's just like, because then I know what to do if somebody comes after me. And
that's exactly why I watch it. That's exactly why I watch it.
Yeah. So,
to protect myself.
And it's just funny, you know, and it's like, so that's her. And then the thing is, like, being a dad of all girls or women, future women, they all don't give a fuck about me. And so they don't give a shit about any of my like suggestions anymore. The only time we'll watch stuff is if I guilt them to come with me to the movie theaters, which is if like we have like mutual like we'll watch Guardians of the Galaxy. We are all crying, you know, together, like, for sure, duh, you know. But like, hey, you know, you should like shit that I even know that like Ava is like right now, like she's one of the twins. She is like, I know she'll like Scott Pilgrim. Like based on all the shit I've seen her watch, I know she'll watch it. Put that shit on. Look at all the funny people that are in there, blah, 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 blah. And like I'll put it on and she's just like TikTok, you know. I'm like, hey, dude, like just a little, you know, like I watched that movie. I don't know if you heard about it, called Polite Society.
Yes,
dude, it's the lady who does We Are Lady Parts, or the person who does We Are Lady Parts. And I'm like, come on, you're gonna like this shit. Like, because I started watching it and I stopped because I was like, oh, the girls would fucking fuck with this, you know, like badass girls beating the shit out of each other, and it's like weirdly like fucking raunchy, and like again, like I value the movies that we saw in the 80s and the 90s, and then because of that, we were exposed to 70s, 60s movies, even 50s movies, like movies before they were completely corporatized, movies when they were like, we're gonna make a good flowing movie, or we're gonna make a weird flowing movie, or we're gonna make a low budget movie, you know, like just very precise in like a vision. You know, it's not like we're trying to click a box, we're trying to make this thing, we're trying to hit this thing, you know, like because of that, we were lucky enough to be exposed to like what, you know, the rating system changing, right? Like oh my god, like Die Hard is PG, like that doesn't make any fucking sense, you know what I mean? Like because there just isn't another rating. So or like kids movies, which, well, I'm not gonna do kids movies, they were kids movies, they actually were kids movies, but they were more edgier,
mature themes, Goonies, you know,
yeah, little things like that, language,
Gremlins,
different situations that are like a little uncomfortable for kids, like not sanitized, you know. And so like I don't mind, like art, cinema, movies in general, to me is one of the purest forms of art, regardless of which one you watch, because you're gonna fucking unlock something in your head the same way music does. So the fact that they just figured it, that's why I'm okay with them. They're independent, you know what I mean? So they're just digging and digging the same way we were going down the internet rabbit hole, or in my case, I had fucking the Netflix discs, you know what I mean? Like Blockbuster, which, by the way, I have to tell this story, or just a little quick little lick. I gamed the Blockbuster Netflix competitor for 3 years. I did a free trial and they never charged me. Do you remember that? Do you remember what their program was? You can get 3 movies sent to you. When you're done with those 3 movies, you could return the 3 movies to the Blockbuster, take 3 more movies out of the Blockbuster, and wait for the next 3 movies to come in the mail.
Oh, I forgot that. And this was like a Blockbuster Netflix, like
way too late, and they didn't invest any money in it. And I was literally I watched like 150 movies in a month or something crazy.
Is that why we have some, like, I feel like when I rummage through like our DVDs, there's like some Blockbuster sleeves. Okay.
Yep.
That's wild. Yeah, because I remember having like just Netflix sent to my house, but like I did not know that Netflix and Blockbuster had an alliance.
No. This was their competition. This was after they didn't buy it.
Oh.
So this is their
Blockbuster was doing the discs as well. Yeah.
Blockbuster was like, no late fees, no this, no that. And like, dude, 9 movies in a week or something, like that's insane. Like it was not sustainable. It was too late. They fucked up.
Too late for you, Blockbuster. Sorry. That's wild. I was nowhere near a Blockbuster to even do that. That's crazy.
You didn't have a Blockbuster in your neighborhood?
No, well, I mean, not when I was in Chicago. When Netflix was starting to happen, like we were they were nowhere. And there was one in my mom's town, but like at that point, like you could tell it was gone. Like you could tell it was just losing its money.
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay, so one thing that I need to talk to both of you about, because how I interact with you guys for the most part, outside of us just being great band friends and playing wonderful shows together and continuing to do so, is that you guys both fuck with a certain kind of online video, and it's cringe. You guys are into that cringe. and honestly, like back in college, there was a guy who I had a huge crush on, but also was just a really good friend, and he would send me like websites of body modification people who were like, I just don't think I need to be, I don't think I need to have a leg. And so they literally just get their leg like amputated, and they like document it, and like literally like
they made a movie about that shit.
Yeah.
Quid pro quo. You ever seen that?
No, I don't think so.
It's a person who's addicted to cutting their limbs off. Sorry for cutting off.
Weird. But it would literally be like real people, and I would just be like, part of me would be like, this is so fucking gross. And then part of me would be like, this is so fucking fascinating. And then the other part of me would be like, thank you for sharing this, because you thought I would be interested. And so, Fern, whenever you send me a cringe video, I know why you do it, and I know why you send it to me, and it's always like, I love
it. Out of fascination. It is out of fascination.
Exactly.
Don't say that to me. I'm gonna send more now. I'm gonna send more of them to
please you. I don't know. I'm scared, but also please, yes.
No, you're ready. You're ready for it.
Hell yeah.
You're ready for it.
No, I just feel like
that's cringe.
Yeah,
you
I
gotta
feel
open
like
the gates.
through your stories and through like what you guys send me or what we comment on or what I see David liking, because I always see like people I know liking things from people, like, you know, if I just keep scrolling and scrolling, I'll
Yeah, you
see
can
your
see.
name every now and again and be like, "Aw, David liked this." I see why. But like I feel like, especially with the whole Grimace shake challenge, I feel like TikTok and like Instagram Reels has become a platform for horror.
Yeah, the kids are all right. The kids are all right.
Right?
For
Like
sure.
it's this weird, like mind-blowing like thing I'm watching. And it's just people like wanting to take a harmless premise and just make
Turn
it
it horrible.
scary.
Yeah.
This is not the first time it's happened, by the way. This is stuff that's happened before, and Vine,
Mhm.
like shit like that,
Yeah.
and that kid who got a fucking movie deal, the guy who did the back rooms, that kid, he's like 15 or some shit. He's got a movie deal. Like that was just him fucking around, like not fucking around. Obviously, there's a lot of work to it, but like fucking around because that's just his idea, you know. So like, yeah, the kids, like David said, they're all right. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Me and Garrett went through a back rooms like rabbit hole, and I was like, there were a lot of ones where I was like, like I was like walking, I was like moving away from the TV because I was like, I don't want to be here. So yeah, I just think it's very interesting where like horror movies are old. We've had horror movies for a long time. They have changed. They have, you know, gone from like monster to psychological to, you know, to like slasher. But I feel like like these apps put it in just random people's hands.
Yeah.
And for me, the Grimace Shake was so cool because you could tell the people who weren't doing it well, but you could tell the people who set a fucking shot up.
Yep.
Like you could see people who literally worked hard to be like, no, we have to get it just right, and it has to look just like this.
Yeah.
And it really made me excited for the future. But yeah, I don't know if
it's so interesting. Yeah, why is it that like people just want to naturally make like these horror movies? Like no matter what, you throw something in front of the kids' hands that like if you give them the tools to actually do it, it's gonna happen eventually. You know, like that's so crazy. That's so crazy.
I know.
The thing about the Grimace thing too is that like you said, you could tell the people that were like not good or whatever, or quote unquote. But the thing is that, okay, we're gonna do the horror thing, right? So I saw quality within the range of really like barely thought out, very low rent, you know, and then really like high concept, crazy, like a girl was crawling on the ceiling kind of shit, like and everything in between, and everyone has a good video. Like if you pull off the reveal, the ugly reveal, you're good. And it's like you said, like it's cool to see everyone's, like just people that are not horror directors or a director just be like, this is horror, you know, this is my version of horror. And it's funny because it is also the intersection of like social media, right? And like the way we actually communicate now. So yeah, like it's not, you don't need a movie for it to be horror, you know what I mean? Like you just need a fucking weird screenshot of a whole background that you don't know makes sense because people photoshopped it to look like fucking mush and devil eyes and create like just fucking abstract shit you couldn't even think about before is available now on the internet.
Yeah, do you guys remember? You guys remember that concept, Lights Out, that movie?
I was just about to say that. Yeah. Wasn't it better as like a short film than it was?
It was so much better as a short film.
Yeah.
Terrified the shit out of me. I didn't need a movie, but it was so cool that person, based on that short film alone, got a whole movie. Like literally.
Wait, isn't that Lee Cronin? Isn't that? Hold on, let me look it up. I'm sorry. I'm pulling up my research right now.
All right. Thank you. But yeah, it's like that was a really cool short where it was like the concept was fully solid, and yet you sat there and you were terrified out of your mind. But the movie itself was just kind of like, okay, we're gonna do that one thing and then some other stuff. It was okay.
David F. Sandberg. He also did Annabelle Creation and Shazam, both of them. The first Shazam had like a really good like horror part in it. It had like a really cool like horror moment in it where I'm just like, whoa, like this shouldn't be in here.
The horror director.
That's kind of amazing though, just based on the fact that kid did a short.
Yeah.
You know? Like a kid did a short and now he's doing a freaking DC movie. Like that's wild. Yeah. Not, you know, it's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I will shit on DC all day.
We're getting through it. We're about
And
to
now
see
he's making money.
He's making money. That's good.
Yes.
Making DC money, but this money. I'm
Yeah,
joking.
that's-
Sorry.
more money than I make.
Yes.
Hey. Okay, so also I want to talk about you guys as a band. It's been you I know there's an album. I know it's coming. I see the singles. I see the signs. I want you to talk about it. When do we get it? When does it come into my ear holes? And I don't know, tell me about what's new. Tell me about, like, I've seen you guys for years and years and years. I feel like the tone is changing a bit. It is definitely different, and I want you to tell me all about it, because I'm excited.
Okay. Should I start? Let me start. Okay. So
Let me start.
post-pandemic, we kind of like we're doing our own thing and stuff like that. And I feel like we definitely like matured from where we were before, just because like the pandemic really shook us up and just really made us like just realize what our places were in the band, in our relationships, and our family, and this and that. And it made us I guess give more of an appreciation to each other. And because of that, we because like we always strive on like with our band, we always strive on like being like, okay, like everybody has an idea, everybody's like on the same page and stuff like that. But there were like some like undertones that we had that were just like, you know, like it was hard to communicate with certain things, with certain like the way that we would like write music and stuff like that was a little bit more difficult back then, because like it was a more stressful situation. And now having this pandemic in the middle of everything kind of gave us that space to realize it's like there are different ways to do it. There are better ways to communicate with each other. And yeah, I feel like the new music definitely reflects that, because it's not so much the new single, because the new single was definitely like just like, you know, we're just fucking rock and roll, we're just heavy as hell. But like the new stuff that we've been working on since then, because we recorded that back in 2019 actually. So this new stuff that we're working on, we recorded back in 2022, August of 2022, almost a year ago. And we recorded it in New York, and we had a bunch of ideas that we brought to our buddy Bobby Wooten, and he pretty much took the ideas and he like stripped it down. And like there were songs that were like full band songs that he would just be like, okay, David, just play the acoustic guitar, and Fern, just sing. Like you guys hash it out, go into like a booth, write out the lyrics, Fern, figure it out from there. And that song that Fern and I worked on specifically, like that's like one of my favorite songs, just because like it's so emotional, you know. And like we actually have like, you know, Eric and Luis singing backup, and like Luis doing like little like pitter patters or whatever. Doesn't Luis have like something on the song? Like
He's doing
like,
pitter patters.
yeah, doing a little pitter patter. But like just like it's very pulled back, and it's a very personal record what we have so far. And like mostly like when we would do, or when Fern would like work on the lyrics with like the other songs and stuff like that, it was very I guess the lyrics were more open-ended, and just like more about like, okay, we're worried about this in the world and that in the world and this. But like this is like definitely like we were looking inwards, and we were just singing about, you know, mostly about our family and like our fears. And like it's very emotional, honestly.
Oh!
And I really love what's come out of it so far.
As someone who someone literally described me in a music review as wielding my emotions like a weapon. I
That's awesome.
I very much love when people get seriously emotional and real in music. I think it is stupid when people say, no, I want the song to be about nonsense, like bullshit. For me, like that stuff means a lot. And I feel like Fern is just so emotional of a singer, and you guys are so emotional as like players. Like I can see all of you kind of, I just see the effort. And I always thought you guys have always like dazzled me, because I'm like, they're related. How the hell are they doing this? Like I remember asking you, like, how do you guys write songs? And you guys were like all together. And I'm like, how the fuck? Like I would literally explode and die if I had to write all of my songs at once. And half of the time it's just me like, you know, recording dumb shit into my phone, and then Ryan kind of being like, I could do something with that. And then Justin just being like, I'll drum to whatever. And then he just does it. And we just tell him like, I want like a douche, and he'll be like, you know, like he knows what to do. So it's like, I always thought like, I mean, the pandemic was hard for all of us. I also was very like, who the fuck am I? Where am I? What is this band? But it was really nice. And I'm glad you guys are kind of experiencing the same, that even when the world is terrible, like your band is there. Like,
yeah.
and that's really, I mean, and granted, you can't really escape it because your band is your family, but like, even like I feel the same. I feel the same about mine, in the sense that I made one of the band my family by marrying him.
Exactly. No, that's the same. It's the same exact thing. You've already,
Exactly.
not only was it your chemistry together, but then, like you said, you guys got married, so it bonded. It made the bond even stronger. And now you guys worry, and it looks like you guys look out for each other like a family, as a family should. And I'm glad that you said that, like, during that time you felt like you could lean on them. Like, not, there's bands that didn't make it through the pandemic. There's bands that were just like, okay, we're not fucking playing anymore. Like.
And you know what? That's fine, and that's fine, and like not to like.
It's also fine, but
yeah,
I mean, it's always nice to have that being able to lean on the people you care about.
And also not to also mention, like, David, you did your own solo thing, Troigo, which I was able to watch, and I love. I mean, listening to it while we were all cooped up was amazing, but also watching you be able to do it live was really wild. And super, like, I don't know. I kind of like all the people that I love playing music with, like during the pandemic, I just kept saying to people, for the most part, like when we were struggling, I was like, y'all, everyone has it. We all have it in us to do stuff and to grow and to be like more than what we think we are. Sometimes I had to say that to myself quite a bit. So it's like, it's really cool to actually see it in action and see, like, I don't know. I really just can't wait for the album. I'm sure you guys are like waiting to do it like justice. It was really hard to release an album during 2020. I felt like I didn't get to tour off it. I felt like, we pressed like a tiny amount of vinyl just because we thought, well, we can't tour, we can't play shows to support this, like this blows. But now I think we might press it again just because we're like, hey, we're doing it very slowly. But
there's no timetable, especially now, like the world is trying to kind of pressure us out of doing the things that we want to do for our life, or for like our enjoyment, or for our joy, or for our passion. Like, it's making those things so impossible to attain, so it only gives you that much more motivation to want to do it, or to want to, like you said, be better or more than you are. So I mean, it's also getting, the art is only going to get crazier, right? Because the world is getting nuts, and so we're going to get more nuts, and that's just the way it is. Like, I mean, it is quote unquote nuts for us for our next album to be. It is primarily a lot of really stripped down stuff, like very personal stuff. Like, all the songs that we're probably going to keep on it are the ones that are way stripped down. Like, maybe one or two are only going to be full band songs. But the thing is, it's still a full band song because everyone contributes on it. Like, Bobby had a rule, like everybody sings, so everyone's singing on the album, the whole album. So
everybody sings, everybody writes. I
mean, that one song you already have, like you've had for years, where suddenly all the music stops and Lewis starts singing, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, that 3-part harmony, I was like, get the fuck out of my fucking face. Like, I remember like that moment just being like, like that was just such a moment of like,
Isolator. Fern,
Isolator. We haven't played that. We gotta bring that back.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, honestly,
I know exactly what song she was saying, David.
Thank you. I don't know the names. I'm
no,
sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. I forgot it.
But yeah, when you guys would do that song, like I lived for that moment. I knew it was coming, and I would just be like, oh, it's coming. Like, it's just, I honestly I'm so excited. I'm excited you're doing this, and I think it'll be so much more of like a dynamic live listen to. So fuck yes, awesome. All right, well, I'm way past the time that
we love you, Lindsey. We're so happy to know you.
Thank you. Please, can you come? Will you come back and talk more horror with me?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Like, we can even like break down like one whole movie if you want. Like, I would be so happy to do whatever. But yes, please. Continue to just I don't know, you guys are two of my best Insta friends. I value everything that you put out in this world, honestly. So please,
we do too about you, Lindsey.
Send me the cringy shit. I think my favorite, okay, I'm sorry, we're just gonna end with my favorite cringe video is the one where the woman is pretending like she just found out that she could sing.
Oh
Have you
my
seen that
Oh.
one?
god.
Where she's
I
singing Third Eye
wish you
Blind and
would
she's
step
just like,
out from that ledge.
Wait, what was the song? What was the song? What was the song? What was the song?
What song is
what
that?
was that song? It was, I wish you would step out from that ledge, my friend. Then she's like,
My friend.
Her face is
I
like,
wish
she's like,
you.
Yeah, she even gives a little. You know what's funny though? It do be like that sometimes. It do be like that.
It
sometimes.
do
that's exactly
like that.
I was sitting there.
that's how
I was sitting there
Avantist
with my
started.
friend.
That's how Avantist started.
That's how I figured out I could sing. I was sitting there. I was just like, "We're just ordinary people. We don't know which way to go. Oh, take it slow. Oh, oh, shit." That was me. That was real. So I identified with it. I see. That's where you don't understand. That was my life. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm
My
saying.
life.
That's what I'm like.
Cringe is my life.
What I love about cringe is that it's all of us. It's fucking all of us.
United in the cringe.
We all do it. And I just feel like my dad sometimes is like, Lindsey, sometimes the stuff you post make me cringe. I'm like, yeah, because I'm your daughter. And you don't want to see shit. But sorry, like I'm just gonna do it because it feels good. I don't give a shit. I am cringe, so I am free.
That's a good right there. I am cringe, therefore I am free.
Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course, we appreciate you. We love you, Lindsey.
Yay, love you. And that was our show. Thank you so much for listening, watching, whatever you were doing. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.